Have been downright unkind to the Phillies so far this season. Matching the offense and pitching of the Indians and Reds has been a problem the Phils can't figure out. Visitors from the Buckeye State arrive in South Philly for a weekend series and the final 3 meetings of the year. Hey, you remember that old saying, the luck of the Irish? Well, the Phillies on Irish Heritage Night here at Citizens Bank Park need a little luck of the Irish as they take on another team from the state of Ohio. Tonight, the Cincinnati Reds are in town for Game 1 of a 3-game series. And you see what the Phillies have done against the state of Ohio so far this year. Just 1-6. They've hit just a .182. They've scored just 16 runs in those 7 games. And the starters' earned run average 6.57. And it's flipped for the teams from Ohio. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy along with Chris Wheeler. Happy to be with you here at Citizens Bank Park, where the Phillies are trying to change their luck against these Cincinnati Reds. They split the series against the Cleveland Indians, and now they have 3 against the Reds, and they'll take on a guy that they've never seen before in a big left-hander.
Tony Cingrani and the Reds come in here red hot, Tom. They've won 6 in a row, just swept the Miami Marlins down there. Cingrani's a young left-hander. He is from the Chicago area, went to Rice for a while. You see, he was a 3rd-round pick by the Reds back in 2011. He tore up the minor leagues, really has a tremendous arm. They brought him up when Johnny Cueto couldn't go, had to go on the disabled list. He's done a good job since he's been up here. He's their organization minor league pitcher of the year. Now, they say he throws a lot of fastballs. Saw him pitch a game on TV a couple weeks ago against the Cubs, and he did. And this game right here against Washington, every highlight we're going to show you is a fastball. Now, he evidently has a curveball. He also has a changeup. Now, that might have been a changeup right there in his repertoire, but for the most part, he just goes out there and pumps fastball.
The one thing the Reds are hoping he does tonight, now this may be his last start before he goes to the minor leagues, they're hoping he does show those secondary pitches, because what they've told him is you can't win consistently by just throwing fastballs. All right, now Cliff Lee throws a fastball, throws a changeup, throws a curveball, and he's won pretty consistently for the Phillies.
Yeah, he's another guy that throws a lot of fastballs. In fact, tonight, get ready for fastballs if you're a hitter, because Cliff Lee will come after you. He tries to control the tempo of the game. He has a great breaking ball right there, a curveball. He pitched a tremendous game in Cincinnati. As Tom mentioned, the Phillies haven't been able to beat the Reds, but this was a game that Chase Utley tied up late, and then the Phillies wound up losing it late. But this is what he's done in his last 5 starts against these Cincinnati Reds. Hard to be much better than that with an earned run average under 2. Look at the walks and strikeouts. 4 walks, 35 strikeouts. They need him to go out there and do his thing tonight, and hopefully can shut down this team, because the Reds can really hit.
Well, they can, and they have one of the best on-base percentages in all of Major League Baseball. So it is Game 1 of this 3-game series. The Phillies and the Cincinnati Reds off the heels of the ALS Festival last night. Everybody was here, including Schmitty. Players got a chance not only to meet the fans, but meet some of the patients. It was a great night, and the Phils are looking to feed off it tonight in Game 1 against the Reds. Phillies baseball. take on the Cincinnati Reds. Game 1 of a 3-game series, a night game and a couple day games this weekend here in Philadelphia. Let's take a look at the Reds starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at center field, Shin-Soo Choo. Batting second, Zach Cozart. Joey Votto, the first baseman, hits third. Brandon Phillips, fourth. Jay Bruce is in right field. He'll bat fifth. Todd Frazier, sixth. Devin Mesoraco, the catcher, will bat seventh. Derek Robinson will hit eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is Tony Cingrani. And they'll face Phillies left-hander Cliff Lee, making his second start of the year against the Cincinnati Reds.
Well, Cliff Lee, almost every time he goes out there, gives the Phillies a good start. Gives you a chance to win. He doesn't walk many batters. See his strikeouts at 43. Hasn't allowed that many home run balls this year. A scouting report on him. The number one thing he'll do a lot of times is control the tempo of the game. And overall, against Cincinnati, 6-2 with a real good earned run average.
Yeah, it's odd. You look at some of his numbers. You know, his last time out, he didn't allow a run for 6 innings, then wound up leaving with the score tied 2-all after Chase Utley hit a 2-run pinch hit home run. But he's lost 11 straight against National League Central teams, which is amazing considering his success against the Reds.
Well, it's time now for our Nissan keys to tonight's game. As Tom said, this is a beautiful, beautiful night for a ball game. When you see these two pitchers out there tonight, they're both lefties. Get ready for some fastballs because they throw a lot of fastballs. And see if Phillies can cool off these red-hot Cincinnati Reds. They are on a tear.
Well, speaking of being on a tear, Shin-Soo Choo has been on a tear all year long. Acquired from the Cleveland Indians this offseason. Here's the first pitch of the night. And it's down low, 1 ball and no strikes.
This guy hit some home runs when the Indians were here a few years ago. He had a tremendous 3-game series in this park.
Had a couple home runs in the series against the Marlins, which the Reds swept. He is tops in the National League in on-base percentage at .468.
Means he walks a lot too, or he'll walk.
There's a strike on the outside corner, 2-1.
Tough sun field right now in right field. Delman Young's trying to get out of it and try and get in that shaded area. See how much sun's out there, and you see him in the shaded part.
Should be that way for about a half hour or so.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit tough out there if it happens to get in and see the sun setting there to the west. And you know, you have more and more of these shadows now as you get into towards June, longest days of the year in June.
2 balls, 2 strikes now to Shin-Soo Choo. And he hits it foul down the left field line and out of play. Dusty Baker's team has won 6 consecutive ball games. This is his 20th year as a major league manager, and he's won, or he's had winning records just about everywhere he's gone. Out toward left field, Dominic Brown heading back, and he'll make the catch. A step from the track, 1 away. During the 2013 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Be a good night for some ice cream.
A lot of people were having it tonight.
77 degrees, bright sunshine.
Ice cream was big in the press room.
And they normally do have Grand Slam in the press room.
That's correct. Many different flavors.
Cozart takes a curveball outside, 1-1. Cliff with 43 strikeouts at 56 2/3. Throws a cutter a little low, and he's missed with a couple pitches just a little low.
We talk about propensity for fastballs with these two pitchers now. Well, cutter's a fastball because it's hard. It moves a little bit at the end, at least you want it to.
There's a grounder to shortstop. And Rollins will throw out Cozart. That was a changeup from Cliff Lee.
That's what you want to see Cliff Lee do, and he can do it very, very well. Still his changeup and curveball to get hitters off that fastball and cutter that he throws so much.
Marty Foster has something in his eye. Carlos Ruiz stopped halfway between home and first just to check on him. Foster's behind the plate. Scott Barry's at first. Tim Welke's the crew chief. He's the elder statesman. He's at second, and Mike Everett's around at first. Here's Joey Votto.
Boy, they have some hitters in this lineup.
He broke his bat, loops one over the head of Rollins, and he's not going to get it. And Votto's aboard with a 2-out single.
Made that big turn at first. He could have picked up that barrel while he was out there.
Could have. The handle's out by home plate, and the barrel of the bat, Billy Hatcher picked that up, is out near second base.
Cliff makes a good pitch. He will break bats. He throws a fastball in on him, and Votto makes contact, carrying the handle down the line with him. Thinking, I'll give up the bat for that base hit.
Well, Votto is the league leader in walks, and the league leader in RBIs is Brandon Phillips with 36.
Yeah, he's been batting down in this order and driving in a lot. He was a leadoff guy for a while, but he has a lot of guys to drive in because of their high on base percentage.
Overall, you saw he's hitting .285, and he takes a strike at the knees. It's 0-1.
He's become a better hitter too. He's, you know, this guy was more of a wild swinger. The more you watch him, it looks like he has a better idea of the strike zone.
He was traded for a very prominent player on the field tonight, and that's the guy out on the mound.
Yep.
It was Cliff Lee, Brandon Phillips, and Grady Sizemore, who were traded from the Expos to the Cleveland Indians for Bartolo Colon and Lee Stevens some years ago.
Bartolo Colon, when they got him, when the Expos got him, he was still really good at that time. He was a big, and they were going for postseason.
And the three prospects the Indians received, Phillips was the main guy in that deal. Not that Lee was a throw-in at all. Not that Grady Sizemore was a throw-in, but Brandon Phillips was the key to that deal. But it never worked out with the Indians.
Heard a story that Phillips at the World Baseball Classic this year saw how some of the guys like David Wright approached at bats and decided he was going to try and be a little bit more like that. Maybe that's why he's more selective.
Takes inside, 3-1.
Because he literally was a guy who would just swing, especially against right-handed pitching. He was an out on breaking balls.
Jay Bruce waits on deck. Out toward left field. Dominic Brown over toward the wall, toward the corner. He jumps, and it's a foul ball.
Oh boy.
Just foul. Fans didn't know how to react. Ball pinballed around and then shot back into play.
That looked like it was going to be a 329-foot home run.
Yeah, he hit it right off the end of the bat.
Right off the end, but look at it, and you could see it was really carrying. And is it deep enough? Oh yeah, that's a home run if it's fair. And it almost hit the pole.
Yeah, that was about a foot away from hitting that hole.
You could tell it had the distance to go out when he hit it, even though he didn't hit it that well because it's, you know, it's short down that way.
Now, no argument at all. Chris Spire, the third base coach, I guess had a good look at it. So because of that, he didn't signal for Dusty Baker to ask for a replay. Or
that would have been a tough way to get off to start this game with a ball hitting the pole right at the base of it.
Runner will be off. The 3-2 pitch up high, ball 4. Only the 10th walk issued by Lee this year. Tonight's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box.
Left-handed hitters hitting .327 against Lee, and right-handed hitters only .213. Now, obviously, he sees a lot more right-handed batters. With this lineup, you're going to get some very tough left-handed hitters coming up against you because they play every day, Votto and Bruce.
Well, this is one of those tough lefties. He's hit in 7 straight.
And Chu.
Takes high, 1-0.
They stay after you for a long time in this lineup with guys that can hit homers, too. And in their ballpark, they can really hit homers.
Out toward second base, Chase Utley has it on one hop. It's kind of an optical illusion because he broke his bat. Second bat he's broken in this inning. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 men left. It was a 19-pitch inning for Cliff Lee. Phillies coming up when we return. Out on the mound. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. It's Rollins, Utley, and Young, followed by Ryan Howard, Delman Young, and Dominic Brown. Carlos Ruiz does the catching tonight. He'll bat 7th. Hitting 8th and playing center field, John Mayberry. And batting 9th and pitching is Cliff Lee. And they'll face the 23-year-old left-hander out of New Lenox, Illinois, Tony Cingrani, who's probably making Wheels his final start before they send it back to the minor leagues when Johnny Cueto comes off the disabled list.
Well, he's done a heck of a job for him. Look, he's 2-0 with a 2.89 earned run average. Real good walk strikeout. That's some pitcher to send out. Right-handed hitter's only hitting 197, but kind of like Cliff Lee, he's going to see a lot more right-handed hitters than left-handed hitters. Here is the scouting report on him. His fastball's a sinker, and he throws hard. Changeup and slider almost non-existent. Tom mentioned he may be trying to throw a few more tonight, and he did pitch at Rice. And there is Johnny Cueto, who's supposed to start on Monday in New York.
It's a pretty good weapon to get off the disabled list,
I guess.
Jimmy Rollins will lead it off for the Phillies. Rollins, a .255 hitter with 2 home runs and 15 runs batted in. And the first pitch is over for a strike. By Rollins' reaction, I think he thought it was a little low.
That's another pitcher they haven't seen before. So we'll see what happens. That's had a lot of that lately, it seems like. Do something off speed there to him on the second pitch of the game. So that could be what you're talking about, that they want him to do some more of that, let him go down in the minor leagues, and maybe in his last major league game do it.
Yeah, you mentioned the high percentage of fastballs that he throws, 83%. Rollins fouls it away. They've been trying to get him to throw more of his secondary pitches, but he hasn't. Now, whether it's because he's stubborn, whether it's because he doesn't have confidence in them, who knows, but they just don't think that he could progress as a major league pitcher by just throwing fastballs.
Well, that's true. They're going to catch up to you sooner or later.
Rollins takes high, 1-2.
Unless you somehow are throwing that thing in spots where they can't get to it.
Dusty Baker said there has been no decision made as to whether Cingrani will go out or not. But he did say the silver lining is he's gotten extended time here, and he has put us in positions to win, and that is always important.
Yeah. Throw him another changeup.
Line drive down the left field line. It is a foul ball. And Rollins knew it. He didn't drop the bat. He still had it in his hands as he went up the line. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Sandra Gagnon of Trenton, New Jersey. Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, and Sandra will win $200. Drove by the ballpark in Trenton today, Arm & Hammer Park, and along the Delaware River. It's absolutely gorgeous.
These minor league parks are pretty. Done a great job with minor league baseball over the last 20-25 years.
Yeah, the Thunder are celebrating their 20th year. Rollins fights it off and floats it out towards center. And Chu makes the catch. And one away for Chase Utley. Wheels, in the topic that you probably find it hard to believe, the last time the Phillies faced the Reds swept the Phillies in Cincinnati, right? The Reds struck the Phillies out 24 times.
Yeah, that was when they were in that no walk thing, right?
They didn't walk.
Right.
24 strikeouts, no walks.
I would find that hard to believe, except we saw it and remembered it.
Utley takes strike one.
That was hard to do when they didn't walk for a whole series. It really is.
Well, since 1995, only 5 teams have gone through a series in Major League Baseball.
I think they'd have gotten into a situation where Dusty would have walked somebody.
Intentionally.
Yeah,
then
he said you walked.
Phillies were part of that party. In fact, back in 2009 against the Arizona Diamondbacks, they had a series where they struck out 24 Diamondbacks and they didn't issue one walk.
Well, they are not a team that walks a lot. One of the reasons why their on base percentage is low.
Outside, 1-2 to Utley. Mick Utley, I should say. On Irish Heritage Night here at the ballpark.
That's a great shirt.
Utley grounds a curveball foul. Checked his swing and another breaking pitch. That was more of a slider than a curve. And it's 2-2.
Well, he's listening. He's throwing a couple curveballs to Utley and a couple changeups to Rollins.
On the flip side, they really weren't sure what to expect because he hasn't thrown many of those pitches, so they don't know if he'll be able to throw them in the strike zone. And Utley serves one toward left field, and Robinson is able to track it down.
Well, they've had 2 balls hard in this inning. One just foul, and then that play by Robinson, who's a couple times in the minor leagues has stolen over 60 bases. This guy can really run. Got a great jump on that. Made it pretty easily.
Well, now with 2 outs, here's Michael Young. Michael was 0 for 6 in the 2-game series against the Indians. Takes low, 1-0. There's a strike, and it's 2-1 to Young. Young is a lifetime .327 hitter for one reason or another against the Reds. He's had a lot of at-bats against the Reds. Toyota Major League Scoreboard, the Diamondbacks are shutting out the Marlins 3-0. Paul Goldschmidt is homered. Part of a 3-run top of the first. Out of play. Diamondbacks are in second place in the West. They're a game behind the Giants. The Marlins, with 11 wins, sit behind the Mets in the National League East, who won today over the Cubs. Inside, ball 4. And it's the first time the Phillies have drawn a walk against the Cincinnati Reds. Got anything else you want to talk about, Wheels, that can get out of the way?
That was good.
How about the fact that the Phillies have not had a home run that's been something other than a solo home run in 16 straight round triplets?
That's a good one, because if you hit a home run right now, that would end it.
It would.
That's why you said it, huh?
I did. Ryan Howard 1 for 11 with 3 Ks against the Reds. And he takes on the outside corner. That's a tough pitch. It's 0-1.
They're playing their defense. You see the shortstop up the middle, and then Phillips, who has a tremendous arm, is playing way out in right field with 2 outs.
Howard sends one towards center field. And the side is retired. All right, well, the Phillies got rid of the walk thing. Now they just have to get rid of the home run thing. We've played 1. We go to the second here at Philadelphia. It's the Reds 0 and the Phillies 0. Tomorrow, 4:05 start. Sunday, 1:35. Wistar Institute Melanoma Awareness Day, presented by Independence Blue Cross and Citizens Bank. A free Phillies floppy hat to fans 14 and under. Order your tickets for the weekend against the Reds by going to Phillies.com. Todd Frazier takes outside. It's 1-0. Frazier, 221 with 6 home runs, 25 runs batted in. There's a strike on the outside corner. Frazier was 0 for 9 in the series against the Marlins. Todd Frazier grew up in Toms River, New Jersey, which is just a short ride up Route 70, across the Walt Whitman, hop on 295, get to Route 70. Just missed inside, 2-2.
Pretty good Little League player, huh?
He's a great Little League player at Toms River Little League, and went out to Toms River South High School, which is one of the better high school baseball programs in Central Jersey. Grounds one toward third, a foul ball. But it remains 2-2. Very talented family.
Look what I got.
That's a heck of a start to the weekend. Swing and a miss. He got him. And Frazier's now 0 for his last 16. 1 strikeout, 1 away. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, guys. Well, giving you an update on Phillies reliever Mike Adams, who is still suffering with that sore lower back. He talked to reporters today, said he had an MRI done on that back today. It is still bothering him when he twists. He said when he twists his body, that's when it hurts the most. No talk of the DL right now, but not available. Was hoping perhaps to be back maybe as early as Sunday, but they're going to wait on the results of that MRI before they make any decisions on Mike Adams, guys.
All right, Mesoraco singles out to left with 1 out here in the second. Well, the Phillies certainly need Mike Adams back. When Charlie was asked today, Murph, you were standing there with me when Charlie was asked, well, who's your 8th inning guy? He said, well, it's Bastardo. He goes, it's always Bastardo if Adams isn't there. But, you know, the hope is, because they don't really need to make a roster move, they feel, until Tuesday. They brought B.J. Rosenberg up to help out in the bullpen. The hope is that Mike won't need to go on the disabled list, and he can work out whatever it is he's got going on. What did he say, Murph? It's the twisting that's really bothering him more than anything else, right?
Yeah, and obviously for a pitcher, that certainly can be detrimental to your delivery. So it is something that he's concerned about. It's not something he's ever had to deal with before as a relief pitcher. And, you know, he mentioned the idea of having to make a roster move at some point and bring in that 5th starter, and he is aware of that. So he's hoping to avoid the disabled list. But if this is the kind of thing that's going to linger on for a little while, then that might be the route that the Phillies have to take. But like I said, they're waiting on those MRI results that they did this morning and hoping for good news. Maybe, you know, in a couple of days it'll loosen up and he can get back out there.
Hey, Ruben Amaro said today that it's a mild strain is what they're labeling it right now, and hopefully that's all it is. 1 ball, 1 strike the count to Derek Robinson.
Well, and they're at the point right now where they're still backdating.
Correct.
For a while. If in fact he has to go on the disabled list, it wouldn't have to be 15 days. It is 15 days, but they can backdate it to a point where he pitched last.
2 balls, 1 strike to Derek Robinson, a .304 hitter.
Well, you don't want a guy that's flirting with one of those injuries. Just go out and use him one time, and then you lose that. Then you have to put him on the DL, and then you're going 15 from that point.
We haven't said this that often about Cliff Lee. You see Chris Spire laying down the signs in the third base coach's box. But he's not as sharp as so far tonight in his first couple innings.
He's really up with his pitches. A little bit wild high. That's what happens with him once in a while. But he can find it real fast. Normally teams don't run here because they don't want to strike out into a double play and lead off with a pitcher next inning.
Although Cingrani was a pretty good hitter in the minor leagues.
1 for 9 up here so far.
Runner does go, and the pitch is fouled at the plate. And he got an awful jump. I know he was going on the pitch, but he looked like he was surprised as anybody that he was running.
He should be. Yeah, and as you said, awful jump because you don't get a jump. The idea, especially with a left-handed pitcher out there, is you do not move until he makes sure the ball is thrown. Now that thing was halfway there when he finally went. He was making sure. He went back that time. Not that he was supposed to be running there. As I said, you rarely see teams run in the National League with 1 out on a 3-2 count with a pitcher on deck, because you strike out into a double play, then that guy's leading off next inning. Not Dusty.
He doesn't go. The pitch is floated out toward right field. Delman Young will play it on a hop, and his throw to second not in time. And that'll put runners on first and second, so it means Cingrani can come up and try to sacrifice the runners up into scoring position.
Plays a very deep right field, and even on the guys offside like that, where you don't expect them to hit it over your head, that's what will happen when you play deep like that. They'll dunk them in front of you. One sack so far.
And he bunts it back toward the mound. They've got to play it. Oh, they had to play it everywhere. They had to play it third. They had to play it second. And, of course, they had to settle for first because nobody was covering second.
It's like Lee didn't know what the play was. Or somebody didn't, because they rotated then. They're rotating. Uh-oh. Here we're going to make some arrows. Now watch. Here goes Jimmy Rollins. Now, see, he's going to come this way. Now Lee has to understand that the play is that there's nobody at second base. Everybody's over there at throw. How did he not throw that thing?
Well, it's because he practices it before each inning.
Right. Good point. Because he was in full throwing motion as he went to. Well, someone didn't know the play, and they go over that before, and that was a perfect time for that play to be on, where they could have had the out at third. Hopefully, it won't hurt them.
And who knows? You don't know how well Cingrani runs. They had the out of third because it was bunted so hard. They could have had an out of first.
Possibly had a double play. One of the harder double plays to make, but right, depending on how he got out of the box. So that's an example. There's no error on the board right now, but that was a misplay.
Shin-Soo Choo, the batter. It's 0-1, and Ruiz able to handle that breaking pitch, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
That thing was bunted so hard that Young was even back there and could have taken the throw at third. Normally, he comes in he just keeps coming in because he knows he has a protection at third with a shortstop coming over. Doesn't worry about going back to third base.
That's why you would assume that it was Cliff that didn't know the play, because Rollins was coming over to cover.
Yeah, I mean, the infielders seemed to know what was happening there.
Inside, 2-1.
But when you watch that, you'll see the third baseman puts the signs on, and then he'll normally go over to the pitcher and tell him what the play is. I didn't notice what he did.
Is he being careful with him, you think, with the base open?
I hope not. Because you got a left here. Even though his numbers aren't as great against left-handed pitching, percentage-wise, he should get him out easier.
3 balls, 1 strike. And ball 4. So Choo draws a walk to load up the bases. It's the second walk issued by Lee. It's very rare that he walks 2 in a game. And now Zach Cozart will be the hitter.
Granted, Choo is the hotter hitter, and whether or not he was trying to pitch around him early, I don't know. But once you got to that point, you don't want to give him anything to hit, really, with the base open and he's ahead in the count. Pitcher, or the hitter is.
Well, now Zach Cozart, a .207 hitter with 5 home runs, 19 runs batted in. He grounded out sharply to short his first time up. Bases loaded, 2 outs here in the second. And Cozart takes a strike. It's 0-1.
He just seems like one of those guys that never pitches around guys. So he just goes after everybody. He just challenges hitters.
Oh, and 2.
Two other Reds are wearing teams out where they get base runners.
It's no balls and 2 strikes to Zach Cozart. 44th pitch of the night already for Lee, and we're only in the second. Here it comes. Inside, he just missed. It was in tight. Just a hair off the plate. There's Cole Hamels, who threw a bullpen session today, as he looks to get back on the right track. Got him. High fastball. He went after it. And Lee bookends strikeouts here in the second. He leaves them loaded. He struck out 2 in the inning. No runs, 2 hits, and 3 men left. And Lee, well, he got the strike when he needed it to wrap up the second. On television, The Big Bang Theory. Plus, all next week, we're going to give away tickets to Comic-Con in San Diego and other sweet prizes. It's all on Philly's #1 comedy, The Big Bang Theory, weeknights at 7 on PHL 17. In between innings, we were taking a look inside the dugout just to see if any conversation was going on who may have had the wrong assignment on that bunt play. And really not much was going on. Mick Billmeyer was talking to Carlos Ruiz, just making sure the signs were right.
Right, that's on throwovers and that kind of stuff, right. That play starts with a sign given to the third baseman, who then gives it to everybody, who then gives it verbally to the pitcher a lot of times.
Delman Young fouls the next pitch past Ryan Sandberg at third,
who evidently was talking with Jimmy Rollins between innings, and that's where some of that stuff would have come into play.
And I know the fans don't always get a chance to see it, but I like the chance to see what's going on in the dugout in between innings, because it's really the first time that the coaches and even some of the players get a chance to discuss a particular play that happened in the previous half inning.
Yeah, it helps us try to figure stuff out too.
2-2 the count. Delman Young smashes one to center, but it's not carrying all that well. Went down toward the end of the bat, and Chu tracks it down for the first out. They do think he's hitting the ball a little better. Ryan Sandberg and Jimmy Rollins chatting in between innings.
Sandberg would have been the one that probably communicated that to third baseman Michael Young. So that's why they're going to find out what happened there, because Jimmy then rotated towards third. Now, as you said, we don't know.
Yeah.
But somebody made a mistake and they got away with it. And the biggest thing was, in my opinion, was Lee didn't throw that thing into center field. He was in full motion to let that baby go.
Ooh, that's a tough strike. 0-2 the count to Dominic Brown.
That's what he's going. Ooh, that low, wasn't it?
I think he's still saying that.
Well, he's right.
And because of that, he goes after a high fastball. There are 2 outs. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, earlier today, Matt Harvey and the New York Mets defeated the Cubs 3-2. David Wright, a home run and 2 other hits. Mets have won back-to-back games. They made that a big deal.
And David Wright is the reason why. Because he had a big game yesterday at St. Louis and a big game today. And Matt Harvey's a good-looking pitcher, obviously. Seen him enough. Gave up 2 in the first, and that was it.
Well, now with 2 outs, Carlos Ruiz, an 8-game hitting streak, takes strike 1. It's 0-1. Carlos was 3 for 7 against the Indians. Still looking for his first home run. He did pick up his first RBI, which was the 300th of his career. And he hits one softly to shortstop. And it's a 1-2-3. Bottom of the second. So Cingrani has not allowed a hit through the first 2 innings against the Phillies. We go to the third. It's the Reds nothing and the Phillies nothing. On the Phillies.com wheels, go to the fan section for all the information. And please submit your answer on the subject line. The question is, which 2 former MLB players were named to the 2013 Irish Baseball Hall of Fame? Do you have that one?
No. But I can't wait to hear the answer.
I would think that you're going to be able to get the answer to this one.
Really?
Yeah. We go to the third.
Are they more current day guys?
Define current.
Since 1970.
Yes.
Okay.
Joey Votto lines one foul into the seats over the third base dugout. It's 0-1. Votto has led the National League in walks in each of the last 2 years, and he's leading the league again this year. Do a little dancing. It's 1-1.
Yeah, then he can pop one with anybody too, and hit doubles. He's really a good player.
Broke his bat, a one hopper to Howard, and Lee casually is over to cover.
It's 3 bats.
So 1 away, and Brandon Phillips is coming to the plate. Well, Will, someone else has joined you in the world of being an author. Dallas Green, his new book called The Mouth That Roared. And if you get a chance to pick this up, it is an outstanding read. The forward is by the great Jason Stark. Look how cool Dallas looked right there. The Silver Fox getting ready to talk about his book with Murph. Murph, take it away.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. And yes, a man who has worn many hats in the game of baseball, and now we add author hat to the mix. And what kind of experience was it? This is your first book after many, many years in this great game. What was the experience like for you?
Well, it's pretty neat. My wife and Adele McDonald, who's the secretary at the baseball ops, they pestered me. And I thought about it, Greg, and I said, hey, done everything there is to do in baseball except own a club and be the commissioner of baseball, and that ain't going to happen.
Well, in just paging through the book, there are so many great anecdotes. And as you sat there and wrote this and put your thoughts down on paper, what was the best part? What do you remember best, as you look back at some of the great moments in your career?
Oh, no question, 1980. I mean, obviously that really defined my time in baseball. Very proud of what we did in Chicago. We got them into the playoffs and got them over the 2 million mark, and we left them with a lot of good young players. The experiences in New York were a little different, but that comes with the territory.
What would you say to baseball fans who would pick up a copy of this? I mean, it really is a trip down memory lane over the last 40 or 50 years of baseball.
Well, yeah, it is. It's my life travels and trials and tribulations. I faced a lot of adversity early on. Baseball is full of times when you face that adversity, and it's made me a better man, I think, to be able to do that and succeed in my business.
You mentioned the word adversity, and obviously over the past couple of years, you and your family have faced that as well. And that was a big part of the reason why you decided to put your thoughts down on paper, was it not?
Yeah, it really was. My grandkids didn't know a lot about, what I did in baseball, other than I was a part of the Phillies all the time. I wanted them to understand what my life was like in baseball and what our family's life was like in baseball. Their mom, dad, all grew up in baseball, and were a very part of our family.
Well, Dallas, I know that Phillies fans are excited to get a chance to relive some of the great memories and relive them through your eyes as well, and they get a chance to do that in The Mouth That Roared. We appreciate it.
Right.
The Mouth That Roared. What a perfect title for this book. Guys, we'll send it back to you. Thank you, Dallas.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. It's a great read, everybody. If you get a chance, pick it up. I know you'll enjoy it. We'll be back for the bottom of the third right after this. WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right and buy Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. Last of the third. It's a comfortable night here in Philadelphia. Phillies will send the bottom of the order. John Mayberry, Cliff Lee, Jimmy Rollins up to the plate against Tony Cingrani, who's not allowed a base hit yet. And he delivers a strike on the first pitch. It's 0-1. Mayberry, a .253 hitter with 2 home runs. 5 for 8 in the series against the Indians. So Charlie Manuel figured a left-hander on the mound. What the heck? Give him another start.
Yeah, he's been pretty productive in that 8-hole, that's for sure.
Down the right field line, out of play. And it's 1-2. Get a nice crowd on hand here tonight.
Beautiful night out here. Come out to the ballpark. Ashburn Alley buzzing. You said great crowd. It's such a good spot to watch a game.
Irish Heritage Night. Time to wear a little green here at the ballpark. 1-2 pitch to Mayberry. Inside, 2-2.
Good job by Murph with Dallas over there. That's one of the greatest titles for a book I've ever heard.
What, is it one of the most appropriate?
Oh, I've been roared at by that mouth. When we were young around here. Oh my goodness! When he and Paul Owens ran things, wow.
Mayberry singles to center field.
You walk around here with your head down. Never, people want to be noticed nowadays. Back in those days, don't even know you're around. Please. Is he looking? No, good.
Could you hear him down the hall?
Hear him. Always hear him.
I knew the answer to that.
Always hear him before. I know that. You'd hear him before you saw him all the time. Pope used to just sit and laugh. Oh, I thought Dallas was funny. Man, they were some team, Tom. They were good baseball men. Dallas, of course, is. Paul's not with us anymore, but they could judge talent, those two.
Well, here's Cliff Lee, and Lee's probably going to be up there to sacrifice with Mayberry at first. Scoreless game here in the bottom of the third. Cingrani throws over to first, and
they may let him swing with Frazier charging like that. The way he can handle the bat. We'll see if they let him do that play where he fakes a bunt like that. He had 3 bunts his last time. Did a tremendous job in that last start against Arizona.
Takes outside. It's 1-0.
Look at him charging. How close he is.
Oh, he's Jersey strong, Wills.
Yeah. Well, Lee take one swing, stop him. But they may just want to bunt him over because it sure worked last time when Lee pitched. Twice he bunted Revere over and twice he scored. There you go. That'll slow Frazier down a little bit. Make you a little smile like, whoa. It won't come in quite as hard. Right here he comes, and now he sees that and is like, whoa, I'm going to get ready.
It's as if he's back on the Toms River Little League field. It's playing that distance.
Here he comes again.
And Lee takes a late strike, and it's 1-2.
It's not a strike. Lee's thinking, man, let me have some of those. Lee doing the right thing there. He only wants to bunt a strike. Swing away now with 2. And Frazier is backed up. Whoa, that's close to a balk.
I thought the first one was close to a balk. I really did.
Well, a lot of stuff's coming forward before he goes over there. That's an umpire judgment on where he steps with that front foot. And there's degrees involved, and I had no clue of geometry and trigonometry, so wouldn't even go there.
Lee bounces it right side. Phillips will get 1, and that's all they'll get. as Lee runs well.
Well, they were trying to get Mayberry was running then, and what they were hoping was they're going to run and swing, but Mayberry froze as Cingrani threw that home, and by freezing, he's out at second.
Wednesday, May 29th, the Phillies and the Boston Red Sox kick off a 2-game series here at Citizens Bank Park. Wednesday, WB Mason collectible Phillies truck, free to fans 14 and under. Make your plans, order your tickets at Phillies.com. So now Lee's at first with one out. And Jimmy Rollins will be the hitter as the Fanatic is making some friends over the third base dugout. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. So the Fanatic asking a young lady to stand up. There are a lot of young folks who are celebrating college graduation over the last week or so. St. Joseph's graduated last week. My alma mater, the College of New Jersey, had graduation yesterday. Check swing, foul ball. And Rowan University has graduation tonight. And we want to wish congratulations to Caitlin Kopenbarger, Frank Kopenbarger's oldest child, his daughter, who is graduating from Rowan University. She's a graduating prof.
Yeah, she is. Frank and Christine did a great job with her and Johnny. And our congratulations to a really nice young lady in Caitlin Kopenbarger.
Outside 2-1. Frank is Phillies traveling secretary.
Director of Equipment.
Director of Equipment. He has a couple of different titles.
Yeah, and just an annoying person overall.
Well, I know he knows our voices, but I know he knows that you said that.
He would expect that. He'll. The next thing will be is, you expect your room to be there in Miami?
Yeah.
He does a great job. That's one of those thankless jobs around a club.
2-1 the count to Rollins. Inside 3-1.
That's a lot of money.
Rollins sends one in the air deep to left field. Robinson going back. It is gone. A 2-run home run for Jimmy Rollins. The streak is over. 16 straight solo home runs, followed by one big 2-run shot, and the Phillies lead it 2-0.
Jimmy got ahead in the count 3-1. He got a high fastball and just hammered it. Boy, that's nice to see somebody get one of these swings. Pitches up in the zone a little bit. Gives a little look at the dugout like they no doubt where that baby's going. He crushed that thing. It was deep into the seats in left field.
So congratulations to Jimmy Rollins. That is his 1,200th run scored. That's an amazing feat to reach that number with all the others that he's reached. In fact, he becomes the 4th shortstop in Major League Baseball history since 1921 to have 1,200 runs scored and more than 400 stolen bases.
His numbers are just continuing to grow. And what a great career he has had.
0-2 the count to Utley. And with that home run, Sandra Gagnon of Trenton, New Jersey's won $200. I mentioned that milestone to J-Roll today, and he nodded, said, I appreciate it. I mean, that's the 3 other names that he's now along with in that category.
Really?
Louis Aparicio, Ozzie Smith, and Omar Vizquel.
That is really good company. 2 of the great Venezuelan shortstops there, and the Wizard. Those Venezuelan shortstops, they all have to wear 13 in honor of Luis Aparicio.
Utley sends one to left center. And it's tracked down. So 2 outs. Well, Wheels, I know you've played. The Mega Millions going off tonight. That's $190 million. That's a lot of cash.
However,
the Powerball, which is scheduled to go off tomorrow, has a grand prize of $600 million. Wow.
that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
I'm telling you.
That deserved more than that arrow, Wheels. That deserved an arrow, a circle, and some birthday candles or something.
Get carried away with it, but yeah, really.
2-0 Michael Young.
I mean, that's more than a free agent gets.
That might be able to buy you a bunch of free agents. Now the Phillies have struck first. A 2-run home run by Rollins, his third of the year. The count is 2-1 to Michael Young, who walked his last time. Inside, 3-1.
Well, they're getting this guy to fall behind a little bit right now, this young pitcher. And Jimmy Rollins just hurt him. Mayberry got ahead in the count, got a base hit. Lee was ahead. 4 straight hitters.
Oh, that home run that Rollins hit, for each one hit by the Phillies this season, 1 tree will be planted by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society as part of Home Runs for Trees, a partnership between the Phillies, PHS, and Aramark. Home Runs for Trees is part of Plant 1 Million, a project to restore the region's tree coverage. For more information, visit phillies.com/red goes green. Now Cliff Lee happy for the 2-run lead. And now Ryan Howard, the hitter. Howard takes high. Howard fly to center his first time.
Another hitter head in the count. And for Cingrani, we're putting up the numbers he's put up. This hasn't happened a lot.
I think part of it is that he hasn't thrown as many fastballs.
Could be. And now you get into fastball counts. And that's what happened with Jimmy Rollins, and he made the most of it.
You wonder if Howard will get the green light here. 3-0.
Yeah, a lot of times you don't give it left, but it's a good time to give it with a young pitcher struggling like this. Maybe you'll throw one down the middle. That's not a good 3-0 to swing.
Ground ball to first. Big hop for Joey Votto. And the Phillies have settled for the 2-run home run that they received from Jimmy Rollins. Rollins' third home run of the year. Jimmy was all over the place yesterday with the rest of his teammates in the ALS Association Phillies Festival here at the ballpark. There were smiles everywhere last night, and smiles again tonight as Rollins goes yard to give the Phillies a 2-run lead. Cups delivered in all the flavors you love. By who? But W.B. Mason. Phillies are up 2-0 as we go to the top of the fourth. Cliff Lee will face Todd Frazier, Devin Mesoraco, and Derek Robinson. Last time Lee faced the Reds, he threw 6 scoreless innings before they scored first. He was matched up against Bronson Arroyo. Well, tonight his team has given him the lead. Frazier takes low. It's 1-0. One ball, one strike.
I haven't had a lead in a while. It'll be interesting to see exactly how he's going to pitch, whether or not he's going to stay aggressive. I bet he will. Pitchers of his caliber, when they get leads, and they haven't been scoring a lot of runs, especially those number ones, they usually can put you away. So we'll see what happens.
Ruiz wanted that high strike. Yeah. Instead, it's called a ball, so it's 2-2.
Thought that was a pretty good strike.
Well, you see the shutdown innings for Cliff Lee.
Yeah, boy, those are always important. Don't get a chance to actually say that enough because don't have the lead. Have to keep the momentum on your side. That's what you want.
The Reds have scored a lot of runs this year. They've scored 195 runs, which is second in the league. And a strikeout of Frazier. It's the second time he's gone down on strikes. One gone here in the fourth. MLB.com at bat is the #1 source for live baseball everywhere you go. Available for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. At bat delivers Phillies baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, which is always cool, stats, news, highlights, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Phillies.com. A strike on the inside corner. Well, they've scored 195 runs, which is second in the league. Part of that is because they're first in on-base percentage. Their team on-base percentage is .335.
Yeah, that's just almost unheard of. Getting some clutch hitting, but more importantly, when you look at that lineup, well, you have Jay Bruce that strikes out a lot, but you have Brandon Phillips in that #4 spot. This guy doesn't strike out a lot, so consequently, he's putting that ball in play. Only one time in his career, including the minor leagues, has he struck out 100 times. One time. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. And speaking of on-base percentage, let's take a look at our Mazda leaders. Up high, 1-2. Well, here are the Mazda leaders. Cincinnati, 335 on base. The Dodgers, as terrible as they've been this year, they're second. And the Rockies are third. And at the knees, a called strike 3. That was a cutter from Lee, who gets back-to-back strikeouts and now has 4 on the night.
Yeah, more importantly, though, did you see the location? What a tough pitch this is. That ball is down near the knee area. Kind of borderline pitcher's pitch, but I like that pitch being called. Probably more so than I would the high pitch. It's a good pitcher's pitch.
2 outs. Derek Robinson, who dumped a single into right his first time up, overpowered by that last pitch. It's 0-1. Delman Young is playing in more in right field after he couldn't track down the bloop. That's a cutter. 91 fastball, 88 cutter.
Yeah, well, Robinson swinging like he's swinging underwater on those particular pitches.
So in this point, you wouldn't speed up his bat.
Oh, of course not. Yeah, I mean, if he throws that breaking ball, you like for him to throw it in the dirt. Hopefully he'll chase.
He does throw the breaking ball. It was near the dirt. He just struck out the side. 2 swinging, 1 looking. Pretty good inning for Cliff Lee. He's now retired 7 straight. 5 strikeouts overall for Lee. 4 of those strikeouts have come during this stretch of 7 in a row. Strikeout number 1, it was swinging. It was Todd Frazier. There's number 1. Now number 2, Mesoraco. He didn't think that was a strike, but it was a pretty good pitch. And then finally, he just overpowered Robinson, that time with the curve. Wanted to talk a little pitching with Charlie Manuel, and that didn't seem like it was the case. It looked like they were talking some hitting, they were talking some bunting. They had a pretty animated conversation in between innings. They're talking about how Frazier was way in on the grass when he was up last time. It's not all about pitching, Sarge.
Well, about having fun, and the way to have fun is by pitching well. But I got to tell you what, Cliff Lee keeps it as real as it possibly can be in terms of winning and losing.
Well, Delvin Young leads it off here in the bottom of the 4th. He flying out to center his first time up. And he's quickly in the hole. No balls, 2 strikes.
Surprised this kid is hitting that off-speed pitch over the plate. Usually it's just the fastball as he slings the ball in.
Well, they said before the ball game today that they were going to try to get him to throw more pitches besides his fastball.
Yeah, well, he needs to be able to do that in the major leagues. But again, having that good fastball is, well, you can't teach that. The other things from the location, the off-speed pitches, you can teach. This is just God-given talent, being able to throw the ball that hard.
Inside, 1-2, or I should say 2-2. And Delvin Young went fishing for a bad pitch. Second strikeout for Cingrani. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. By Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Visit a time you experience good banking. And by Honda. Visit your Honda dealer today for great deals. Only a Honda is a Honda. Jimmy Rollins has given the Phillies a 2-0 lead thanks to his 3rd home run of the year.
Much better against left-handed pitching here. Dominic Brown. And this is a little different just because of the way that he slings the ball. Not really sure Whether or not he's able to throw strikes consistently, that's a good swing. This kid from the left side comes up with a real good breaking ball. It'll just make him that much better of a pitcher. For a hitter, you're hoping that he doesn't throw it over so he can become predictable and just throw that fastball.
Back toward the box, off the glove of Cingrani, picked up by Cozart. 1-6-3, 2 outs.
Well, ball had a chance of getting through.
Well, Ruben Amaro was asked today about the Phillies' offense, which obviously has been anemic, but asked specifically about certain guys, including Dominic Brown, and he just shrugged it off and said, Dominic Brown is the least of our worries right now. He said, I think he's doing fine. And it's true.
Yeah, I believe so. And in left field, fielding the ball better. And I think it's so much pressure in spring training trying to win that job, along with some of the other ones as he gets a little pat. But since winning the job, he's kind of settled down in left field. He's getting better jumps on the ball. A lot more comfortable at the plate. Starting to show a little bit more power. One of the guys that needs to get back on track. It's just, again, a matter of time. I'm thinking before he starts to hit that ball. And he's been hitting the ball hard, but a little jumpy at times in some of the hitting counts. And for Carlos, that hitting is really all confidence.
Carlos lines one toward left field, and Robinson can't get to it. Fields it on a hop. Ruiz will stop at first. And that's a 9-game hitting streak for Carlos Ruiz. Speaking of Carlos, when the Marlins are here Monday, June 3rd, Tuesday, June 4th, and Wednesday, June 5th, everybody will have his bobble figurine on their mind. It's going to be given out prior to the June 4th game. It's compliments of Toyota, and it's free to all fans. Get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. That's a great looking figurine in the alternate uniform, which the Phillies wear during day games. Again, it's Tuesday, June 4th. That's 7:05 ball game against the Miami Marlins. Order tickets at Phillies.com. Carlos has had a bobble figurine before. It was a catching figurine, mask popping off and everything. Oh, and 1 to Mayberry.
Mayberry finally has that average starting to rise the way that he would like it. Only 2 home runs, though. And if he gets in, he'll start showing a little bit more power. But the fact, again, is it's that consistent that you need to make sure that team wins. Don't have that consistency. It's going to win 1 or 2, then lose 3 or 4. That's not the way you want to do it. Got to be able to win series.
The liner out towards short. Cozart picks it out of the air. Phillies get a base hit with 2 outs, and that's it. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We've played 4. Cliff Lee about ready to go to work again with a 2-0 lead. Top of the 5th. And it's time now for our Coors Light Freeze Can. Sarge, it's Irish Heritage Night here at the ballpark.
Nice.
One of the caps you can pick up down at spring training. Some of the Irish dancers were here as well. In fact, a lot of them were here at the ballpark of all ages. And they put on a great show. Murph is Irish, as we all know. Of course, McGutley was here. And the rest of the clan. This is the 8th annual Irish Heritage Night here at Citizens Bank Park. A lot of green in the house. Bill's got some green on. He's got a lot of green on.
Yeah, I would say.
Even his headphones are green. Cingrani takes a strike. I mentioned during the outset that the Phillies were looking for a little luck of the Irish to beat a team from Ohio. They only have one win.
Yeah, and here we are with red shirts on. And we do have green shirts, I believe.
You know what? We do have a green shirt. That's an oversight on my part.
Really now. And you're Irish, by the way. Okay. All right. Just checking.
Just so you know, there are 3 other members of the Peanut Gallery that could have chimed in.
Well, I mean, we try not to do anyone else's job and stay in our own lane.
You're such a liar.
Come on. Really? We never say anything about the shirts.
We do have two
out.
very sharp green shirts we could have worn.
Well, I mean.
Ground ball to shortstop. Thankfully, Cingrani takes our attention away. And is retired for the 8th consecutive out by Cliff Lee. And back to the top of the order for Shin Soo Choo.
Oh, this is good, though. Even though some of the balls they have hit, he's getting them in really good spots. Jamming the hitters. Taking a look there at his fingernail, but staying out of the middle of the plate. There's that familiar hat with pine tar on it, a little rosin on top of that. Most hitters don't mind that, you know, and that's basically for the grip.
Out of play, and it's 0-2.
Good spot, up and in fastball. He's been a good player for the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, there are a number of free agents that'll be available at the end of this year. He's one of them. Somebody's going to pay that young man a lot of money.
Yeah, he can hit, no doubt about that.
Swing and a miss, 2 outs.
Plays pretty good center field.
And he strikes out for the 6th strikeout of the night for Cliff Lee. Well, we talk about special events here at the ballpark, and Citizens Bank Park is a fantastic place to host those events year-round. Many unique options for corporate or social events of any size, including the Diamond Club, the Hall of Fame Club, and Executive Dining Room. For more information, go to Phillies.com/special events or 215-218-5100 for more information. And Sarge, before the ball game tonight, the folks at Aramark were nice enough to treat us to some of the fare that they use, some of the food for these special events. And our buddy Glenn, who's the regional chef, and our buddy Vonnie, who is the chef in the building, they, along with the rest of their staff, prepared some great food. The cheesesteak spring rolls, the lobster rolls, some great desserts, too. We want to thank them for that. And it's all to remind us about the great food here at the ballpark, but also that you can book a special event, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, things like that, during the off season, during the season, and that's all part of this atmosphere right here.
Yeah, really impressed there. The desserts, salads that they had. I got to tell you, that was quite a surprise.
There's a base hit to right for Cozart, so he's aboard with a 2-out single. Well, again, you can go to Phillies.com/special events, and the food's not brought in from the outside. The food is cooked right here at the ballpark, and for each event there's a Phillies representative that acts as the coordinator for that event and plans out all the specific details for what you're having here at the ballpark.
Well, it was pretty tasty, and I really got to thank Airmark for that. Tried to lay off of the desserts for them.
How'd that work?
Good.
Votto fouls it away. It's 0-1.
Doubled up on the cheesesteak egg rolls.
They were really good.
Oh, boy.
Votto is singled. He's also grounded out. He's 1 for 2. No balls, 1 strike. And a little flip over to first.
Well, you want him to have, though, more RBIs than just 17. Hitting for a really great average, 327. Only maybe knock on him. He does have 35 walks, but you'd like him to expand the zone some, especially would you have runners in scoring position, in particular on third base.
So is that a knock on him for having that many walks?
Not so much. Yeah, somewhat. I mean, when you're hitting in that third spot, you look at the fourth hitter with 35 RBIs. He's certainly expanding that strike zone. But Votto's a guy that, I mean, he can drive in 100 runs, and that 327 is great. But he's looking at that on-base percentage more so than anything else.
Rollins decides to go to first. That's the right play. Cozart runs well. Votto does not. No runs. 1 hit, 1 man left. 4.5. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Cliff Lee is going to discard the glove and get ready to hit. Valley's leading news. Get all the big stories, all in 30 minutes. It's the best news at the best time. Action News at 10 on PHL 17 tonight and every night. Bottom of the 5th, it'll be Cliff Lee, Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley for the Phillies. Cliff Lee reached on a fielder's choice, and he's ahead 1-0. And he scored the run ahead of Rollins on the home run. Out toward right field. That's pretty well hit. Bruce going back. It is off the top of the wall. Lee slid a little bit around first, but Bruce bobbled the ball in right, so it's a leadoff double, and Lee can't believe he couldn't get it out of the yard.
I think he was kind of breaking it down. I think he thought it was out of the yard, to be quite frank, as he's looking around like, how did that ballpark hold that? He's a good athlete, though. You can see looking at the ball. Take a look at it now. He put some extension on that. Now take a look at it. He's breaking it down right now a little bit. Now he's getting ready to go ahead. Oh no, he says. I can't believe it. Oh, man, missing out on the points too. As all the guys there going, way to go.
His reaction was beautiful. You don't think he doesn't like to play this game?
Oh, it's priceless. I mean, he's having fun. talked about that earlier. You know, and he keeps it in perspective on wins and losses, and doesn't seem to take that last game he pitched into the game, into that next start, I should say.
Jimmy Rollins homered his last time up. It was a 2-run shot. We mentioned the other day that the Phillies 16 straight solo home runs was the most in the expansion era, which means it's since 1960. They had 15 straight back in the 90s. And Rollins broke that slide with a 2-run shot. You like the fact that he's bunting right there?
Well, I'd like to see him go on and be able to, you know, again, drive the ball when you're winning. The fact is, though, he's been popping that ball up quite a bit. Charlie making sure, even though it was bunted back to the pitcher, that they get that runner in scoring position as he gets high five. And this is what it's all about when it's a team. You know, you're not thinking individual. You're thinking about getting that guy in scoring position as he gets, hey, a 5 there from Charlie. Charlie can say, hey, thanks a lot, and nice going and getting him down. You see whether or not it pays off where you're able to drive the run in, and with that infield in at this time.
Utley has flied out to left and center. That should get them a run if he does it here.
Good technique there by Cliff Lee as he's taking his second lead. He takes his lead, secondary lead, but then once that pitch is thrown, you hustle right back after you see that that ball is caught by the catcher. Looking for contact.
Well, he's been one of the best the Phillies have had, getting a runner home from third with less than 2 outs, well above the National League average.
Yeah. This guy throws an easy 95. It doesn't appear that it's a lot of effort. You know, work in progress, however, on the breaking ball, and he will slow down his arm motion. At least he has a few times on that breaking ball. Pretty good pitch. So what you want to do is foul that off. Don't know if they're going to be going on contact. Usually maybe with a everyday player you send them, although Cliff Lee is a good athlete. Just don't know if you want your pitcher sliding into the shin guards.
He's down on strikes. He lost the bat. It goes up the first base line, and there are 2 outs. For years, StubHub has been the place to find great Phillies tickets. And this season, you can get more with your tickets thanks to StubHub Fan Rewards. So get to StubHub and grab your seats today. Well, Cingrani certainly had the upper hand on that at-bat in every facet. Chase fell behind 0-1, then 0-2, and he just didn't seem comfortable with him at all.
Yeah, it doesn't appear that he even saw that last pitch. He doesn't usually swing at pitches that are that far away.
Here's Michael Young, who's walked twice, and Young fouls the first one away. Oh, some young fan. He had to be maybe 10, maybe 9. Just made a great catch. Glove in hand, right over the railing. Up the first base side. And he was as shocked as anybody that he caught it. 0-1 the count. In the air to center field. On the run is Chu. Out toward the track, and he reaches out, and he can't get it. It's off his glove. Young will score, or Lee will score. Young on his way to third. 3-0 Phillies.
Well, that'll make J. Rowe feel a lot better with that sacrifice bunt there. What you want to see Cliff Lee coming in on. I'm telling you what, he squared this ball up. One of the hardest hit balls he's hit in this stadium there. You can see, well, little alligator arms on that. Now he's going to kick it into gear as he'll slide into third base with an RBI. Nice going.
Second triple of the year for Michael Young. Lee greeted at the dugout by Jimmy Rollins and Jonathan Papelbon. And now Howard is up. Phillies up 3-0 here in the bottom of the 5th. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Mentioned the other day that Ryan Howard has now had 34 at bats where he's fallen behind 0-2.
Yeah.
On the contrary, he's put the ball in play only 5 times when he's had the count 3-1 and 16 times when he's had the count 3-2.
I'm talking with Charlie today, very concerned about it, and really trying to get him to really get a little bit more aggressive. But see, it's a fine line in that. When you're aggressive, you have to be aggressive on strikes. It's not aggressive out of the zone. Hitting counts. Mentioning that, hitting the ball the other way. And if he's going to hit a foul ball, Charlie wants him to be able to have that pitch and be able to pull it, as opposed to hitting that ball the other way, kind of feeling for the ball, if you will.
Well, it's even now 2-2 for a home run hitter to have only 5 plate appearances where he's put a 3-1 pitch into play. I mean, that's odd, isn't it?
It is very odd because, again, it's a predictable pitch. Once you get 3-1 most of the time, and you're looking for the fastball. So, I mean, we've seen him do it before. I mean, it's not like this is something that's new.
Bullpen action as Cingrani has thrown 96 pitches. Logan Andrusic is throwing in the pen for the Reds. A run is in here in the 5th on a triple by Michael Young.
This is what's so difficult about the game is that you can't live on last year's stats. Those are all gone.
All right, so now 3-2. He's 1 for 16 with 2 walks when the count is 3-2.
Haven't been very disciplined, but again, you know what? I'm looking fastball here, and I'm going to make sure if he does throw a breaking ball, I hope to foul it off. But I don't want to be late on anything like 90 or 95, 92. Or take a call strike 3, which is a fastball. And I tell you, guys like Mays and McCovey, you come walking back, I got questions for you on what are you looking for. You know, why are you looking for a pitch you can't hit? Good breaking ball, very difficult pitch to hit if it has that 12-6 break.
3-2 pitch to Howard. Swing and a miss. And he has struck out on what would have been ball 4.
Yep.
2 strikeouts in the inning for Cingrani, but a triple by Michael Young has given the Phillies a 3-run lead. We've completed 5 here in Philadelphia. Jonathan Papelbon all season for the Phillies. Holding opposing hitters to the bare minimum has been the norm when the Phillies closer is called upon, whether it be 3 outs or even more needed to finalize a victory. The final out is often hard to come by, but Pat has taken that out of the mix. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross, changing the game. Oh, it's Irish Heritage Night here at the ballpark. We haven't seen the Fanatic do the Irish jig just yet with the umpires. Well, we thought. That was Matt Mailer, who does such a great job with the Fanatic in a lot of these acts in between innings. And Matt now will be working the crowd as he normally is, handing out flowers to all that are in the area.
Gotta like that, boy. Got the flowers going. And a lot of entertainment at the ballpark.
Brandon Phillips has the count even, 1 ball and 1 strike here in the 6th. Phillies up 3-0. Phillips is 0 for 1 with a walk.
There's those 36 RBIs and really hitting 283. Lifetime, though, average for him is 280. 3 Gold Gloves to his credit. Didn't win it last year. Mr. Barney with the Chicago Cubs ended up winning that one. 141 scoreless games. Scoreless errors, I should say, in a game. About the only way that you could dethrone Brandon Phillips. Has a lot of range. Infectious smile, always smiling. And a second baseman hitting in that 4th spot.
Takes breaking ball. It's 2-2. I think part of the reason why Darwin Barney won the Gold Glove was because of that errorless streak, because it received so much notoriety when he did finally commit an error last year. I think a lot of people took notice of it. It took a while for somebody to take the Gold Glove away from a guy like Orlando Hudson at second base.
Yeah, he actually won that in 09.
There's a liner toward the alleyway in left center field, so Brandon Phillips will be aboard with a leadoff extra base hit, and he'll stop at second.
See where the pitch is. Well, that ball on the outside part of the plate. Knows it's in the gap. No stride. Take a look at it as he hits against that front foot. Kind of like Ryan Howard in a way in terms of being able to hit the ball more upper body than using his legs a lot. Doesn't stride at all.
Well, Jay Bruce is 0 for 2. He's grounded out to the right side twice. Take strike 1. It's 0-1. Oh, and 2. Always talking out there, the two of them.
More of a friendlier game than these days.
There's no way that would have went on during your time.
The only time we're smiling with them, and depending on what happens, is after the ball game. Yeah, during the game, it's just too many things that can happen. Never looked at it as a joke, kind of. Especially if I was losing. But again, that's where it is different. You know, guys breaking up a double play, they'll ask each other, is, hey, you all right? You all right? Yeah, okay. We were trying to put them in the left field. Try and pick up a ribby or help one of your teammates to get an RBI by breaking up that double play.
Curveball hit in the air to right field. That's well hit. Young on the run, out toward the wall. It is gone. A 2-run shot that's made this a 3-2 game. Towering home run for Bruce, who now has 5 home runs in the last 3 years here at Citizens Bank Park.
Well, here's a guy, too, though. Bruce, one of those guys that really strike out quite a bit. He ended up hitting a hanging breaking ball out of the ballpark. Take a look at it. Curveball. And when they hang him right there, somebody's going to bang him. He knew the ball was going awful high. Man, catching the ball, too.
Yeah, he was 2 rows back. I don't think that ball would have stayed in the yard if he had just let it go. Back toward the middle, and Utley to his right.
Now, one of the things when you're a club and you're able to score runs, you don't get so nervous when you're behind. You know, right away now, he's put him back into the game, Jay Bruce. And that was probably one of the first bad pitches that he's made. That ball up and breaking. Just didn't break down. Got to work on maybe just those guys that can hit that ball out of the ballpark. Make sure you get it down, son.
Got him. Tailing fastball. And there are 2 outs. All right, look at the distance with this home run. It looks like real slow. Watch the ball going down. Yeah, that would have cleared the fence.
No doubt.
It would have just barely cleared it. Now, again, the gentleman who caught it made a nice catch. He was 2 rows back, and he reached forward, but I didn't think he reached over the fence.
No, I thought it was clearly out. Not by much, however. I mean, but doesn't matter. You know who used to hit home runs and never really hit them majestic shots is Hank Aaron. Dusty Baker used to always talk about how his home runs would just kind of line drive, get over the fence. And Hank would talk about him that he just wanted them to go over the fence. He wasn't trying to hit it out of the whole yard, just over the fence. That's what counts.
0-2 pitch to Robinson. Outside, a little cutter, but it's 1-2.
Tried to bring that back in.
To the dispersion of outs. Change up low. It's 2-2. Line drive caught by Chase Utley. Side is retired. Cliff Lee is at 104 pitches. He allowed a 2-run home run to Jay Bruce. We go to the bottom of the 6th. The Phillies up by 1. Now, Toyota, let's go places. By the Pennsylvania Lottery, benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. And by McDonald's, I'm loving it. Bottom of the sixth, Phillies up 3-2. And the Reds go to the bullpen. Logan Andrusik, 2-0 with a 4.50 earned run average. 11 strikeouts in 14 innings. He'll take over for Cingrani, who in 5 innings allowed 5 hits and 3 earned runs, 2 walks and 4 strikeouts.
Yeah. Well, not pitching real bad. I mean, he was able to get his breaking ball over some, and I thought now, I mean, the way he was throwing, the fighting fields were getting ready to maybe take advantage of him.
Well, because of that, Dusty Baker decides to go into the bullpen. Andrusik will face Delman Young, Dominic Brown, and Carlos Ruiz.
Yeah, well, young pitcher, not going to really let him throw too long and to get into trouble, although getting his feet wet is pretty good. Not making that team in spring training, being able to come up and do what he's done so far, you got to like that.
Yeah, he's probably going to go down, they said, this week when Johnny Cueto comes back.
Cueto should be coming back, I would think, on Monday.
Delman Young will lead it off. Young is 0 for 2. He has flied out. He has struck out. Hits that one sharply to second. 1 away. Dominic Brown is coming up. Let's check in with Murph with the Major League Notebook. Murph?
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy College. And the Houston Astros have a new team president. He's a familiar face, sort of. Reed Ryan, the eldest son of Nolan Ryan, was introduced today. Ryan was a bat boy back in the day with his new employer, but most recently oversaw the rebuilding of 2 minor league franchises in Texas and is considered a very hot player down there, and they're very excited to have him. And on the field, the Atlanta Braves are welcoming back slugger Jason Hayward. He was, of course, back on April 23rd, had that appendectomy, had his emergency appendectomy. Hasn't played since, but he's back on the field tonight. 1 for 2 tonight with a double, but the Dodgers lead the Braves in the 4th inning right now, guys, 3-2. That's your Major League Notebook.
Yeah, that game's in the bottom of the 4th. How about the news out of Atlanta? I don't know if you guys saw this, but Johnny Venters underwent his second Tommy John surgery since 2005 for the Atlanta Braves. I mean, that's the hard-throwing lefty who was, up until 2 years ago, one of the best setup men in the National League.
Yeah. Well, wishing him well. And again, the only good thing, too, about that, there's been guys that, well, they've been able to come back because of the medicine these days. So in most cases, they'll come back even throwing harder. So we'll see what happens after this second operation, however.
Yeah, you know, we've seen more guys have their second Tommy John operation. It's hard to fathom.
Yeah, Tom, I was going to say, it just seems like we're seeing so much more of that all over Major League Baseball right now. It seems like just about every week we're talking about a guy having Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
It's becoming almost an epidemic.
Joel Hanrahan for the Red Sox just had it as well. Dominic Brown hits one to left center field, and Robinson makes the catch, and there are 2 outs. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th, and Carlos Ruiz is coming to the plate. Carlos is 1 for 2.
Some young guys that can get that ball up there with velocity. Again, got to be able to locate.
Out toward right field, Jay Bruce. He got a pretty good jump, and he was able to make that catch one-handed. 1, 2, 3 go the Phillies. They're set down in order. We go to the 7th. It's just a 1-run game between the Phils and the Reds.
Time now for your local Honda dealers. It's a really good ball game here tonight. Jay Bruce with a 2-run home run to get the Reds back into it in the 6th inning, his 4th of the year. Tony Cingrani with a little bit wild here tonight, threw a lot of pitches, gone after 5. Phillies scored 3 off him. Jimmy Rollins with a 2-run home run. Cliff Lee just missed a homer and then wound up scoring later in the inning. And Lee will pitch into the 7th inning, although he's at 104 pitches right now.
Yeah, I thought maybe the Phillies would have somebody up and warming before the inning started, but they don't. Lee just looked up at the scoreboard and noticed that Donald Lutz has been introduced as the pinch hitter. He looked up at his numbers, 7 for 25 with a home run and 5 runs batted in. And he hits one toward right field. Easy play for Delman Young. 1 away.
He's a pretty good looking young power hitter out of their organization. He grew up in Germany. He's the first major league player that really, he was born in the United States, moved to Germany, he was 1 year old. And this were German Heritage Night. He would be an appropriate player.
Be perfect. Players from Germany, born in Germany, include the pitcher, Tom McCarthy.
Is that right?
Who I sometimes get baseball cards for, to autograph. Larry Henderson has a couple of them sitting up in front of his desk. That one's on one hop to shortstop. You would think the Reds would have taken a pitch or two with Cliff Lee at 106 pitches now.
This will help his pitch count.
It will. 2 outs now. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will receive a prize back courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Delaware Valley. To find a branch near you, go to citizensbank.com. At the knees, Cozart. And it's 0-1.
That's an automatic take if there ever was a situation for one.
Had to be. Not that one. Probably should have taken that one.
Well, maybe. But they were certainly, if he didn't know it, I'm sure they were telling him before as he was walking, hey, take one. No, we mean it. Take one.
A little high. 1-2.
Cliff got Cozart a big spot back in the 2nd inning with the bases loaded, 2 outs in a scoreless game when he was struggling. And since then, he's really started to put it together.
Just got a piece of it. One ball, 2 strikes. And a line drive, 1 hopper towards second. Utley in shallow right. Well, Cliff Lee needed a quick inning, and he certainly got it. A fly out to right, 2 straight ground outs. He is done with the top of the 7th. It's time to stretch here at Citizens Bank Park with the Phillies leading it by 1. Wheels, here's the question one more time. Which two former MLB players were named to the 2013 Irish Baseball Hall of Fame?
No idea. Well, I'm going to throw, one of my favorite people. I guess he's already in, but he's from here is Danny Murtaugh.
Well, Danny Murtaugh is a good guess. It's incorrect.
He has to be in a long time ago.
Long time ago.
I have no idea.
One guy's a local product.
Really?
Yeah, he's from Bucks County. He went to then Bishop Egan High School in Bucks County. He is now part of the White Sox coaching staff.
Oh, Joe Ewing.
Joe Mick Ewing.
Mick Ewing, I mean.
That is correct.
Would be Ewing. He would be Irish.
He wouldn't be
Maybe
Irish.
wouldn't be. Maybe would be.
And the other one,
Mick Ewing.
he has a great nickname.
Irish?
Well, not really, but I don't know how to describe this.
Well, we better hurry.
But he played north of the border. But he had a great nickname.
Even though he played in Canada?
Yeah.
Well, was he called Frenchie?
No, he wasn't called Frenchie. John Mayberry leads it off.
I don't know.
Sam LeCure is the new pitcher for the Reds.
Not Sam.
And Mayberry grounds one foul.
Let's see who it is.
Legrand L'Orange.
Rusty Staub?
Yeah.
He's Irish?
Well, I guess he is. They put him in.
Well,
Joe McEwing and Rusty Staub.
Well,
there are 5 2013 inductees. Rusty Staub is the only player.
I'm saying that every name, just is ethnic, but I never thought of Rusty Staub as being Irish.
Yep.
He was a redhead, or is a redhead.
Yep. Learn something every day.
That's
Wills.
good stuff. Enjoyed that one.
0-2 the count to John Mayberry.
Legrand Orange. What a good guy, too. See Rusty every once in a while in New York.
Yeah, we had all that great food tonight from the folks at Aramark. Boy, could Rusty cook.
Yeah, Rusty had 2 terrific restaurants at one time in New York. One in Midtown and one on the Upper East Side.
And Mayberry's down on strikes, 1 away here in the 7th. 4 in a row retired by the Reds bullpen. And here's Lance Nix to pinch hit for Cliff Lee.
The Phillies are going to go with Bastardo in the 8th inning because Votto and Bruce are going to bat, and they're going to go probably strictly on matchups right now. As far as the 8th inning goes without Adams, and matchups indicate you want a left-hander.
Nick 7 for 21 as a pitch hitter. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. One ball, 1 strike.
First 2 innings really cost Cliff Lee the chance to pitch one more inning here tonight. What did he throw 40-some pitches in the first 2 innings? Then he really settled down, starting to mow him down the way he can.
7-pitch inning in the 7th. Inside, 2-1.
First 2 innings, 45 pitches for Cliff, and 10 of them foul balls. Kind of like what happens with Cole Hamels once in a while.
Cliff talking to Jonathan Pettibone. Pettibone is scheduled to start Sunday's finale to this series. Kyle Kenrick starts tomorrow. Swing and a miss, and Nix is struck out. Back-to-back strikeouts for LeCure. Well, Wheels, it's time now for tonight's Cold Hard Fact, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Back on this date, in 1979, the Phillies defeated the Cubs 23-22 in 10 innings. There were 11 home runs hit, including 3 by Dave Kingman and 2 by Mike Schmidt. Remember that day like it was yesterday?
I really do. That was. You probably might imagine the wind was blowing out a little bit of Wrigley that day. That was what a show. Amazing day. And found out in spring training this year that the only guy to retire the side in order out of all those pitchers that were used that day is the Phillies' new AAA pitching coach, Ray Burris. He told me that. Because we got to talking about the 23-22 game. He says, you know who the only pitcher was? I said, it's got to be you. Here's Jimmy Rollins hitting that 3-1 fastball out. Give the Phillies a 2-0 lead. 7-6 in the first inning. Randy Lurch started for the Phillies and hit a home run in the first inning, and then got knocked out in the bottom of the first.
He was tired.
It was nuts. Kingman hit 3, and they all went. One went further than the other.
Rollins pops it up. Behind second base, Zach Cozart, the shortstop, dancing around a little bit. 1, 2, 3 go the Phils. We have completed 7 straight retired by Reds pitching. Antonio Bastardo is coming out of the pen to replace that guy when we come back for the 8th. Is brought to you by Nissan. Sign and drive today, only during Nissan's Sign and Drive event. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. Irish Heritage Night here at Citizens Bank Park. So the Irish dancers are on top of the dugout, trying to teach the Fanatic a thing or two. It's not an easy dance to do, I would imagine. But the Fanatic's got it down.
River dance.
The Fanatic was the Fanatic was mixing in several other dances into his Irish dancing. Antonio Bastardo will pitch the 8th inning for the Phillies.
Some big feet to do that dance.
I always wonder how he doesn't fall off the dugout.
Good point.
Crowd of 43,000 plus here tonight. And they've watched a good game between the Phillies and the Reds. Joey Votto will lead it off. He's 1 for 3.
Here's one of these situations where it's not a save, but you get the 3, 4, 5 in the 8th. It's like a save. And this is some 3, 4, 5 that's coming at you right now.
Phillies also have Justin DeFreitas throwing in the bullpen.
Phillips, then Bruce.
Out toward right center field. That's well hit. And that one is not coming back. And we're tied up at 3.
Not a long one. Cliff Lee just shaking his head. This is where the Phillies just got really hurt badly last year, early in the season like this, in the 8th inning when they could not hold leads. And here we go again tonight. And that was really crushed. Joey Votto will walk a lot, but he can do that too. He can jump on it and hit him with anybody. We talked about that earlier, the way he can hit a home run with anybody in baseball.
Well, now Brandon Phillips, who doubled his last time up. That double by Brandon Phillips in the 6th tied him with Joe Morgan for the most by a Cincinnati second baseman with 220. That's a lot of doubles.
That's a heck of a name to be tied with. 2-time MVP for the Reds.
Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Second home run ball given up by Bastardo.
He doesn't give up much to left-handed hitters. And a called strike 3. Throw a fastball on the inside part of the plate.
And they both so far this year are to left-handed hitters.
That's 8 strikeouts now for Phillies pitching. And Jay Bruce will be the batter. Bruce homered a 2-run shot his last time up.
Pedro Alvarez of Pittsburgh hit the other one. Well, that's what we meant about this inning. 3, 4, 5 coming up. This is like a save because you get in the heart of a very difficult order. See if you can get him out, and he couldn't.
Broke his bat and he dumps it into right for a hit.
And both the left-handed hitters get hits. So now they'll go to DeFreitas. So why didn't you bring him in to start the inning? Because you had 2 left-handed hitters, and that's what Bastardo's job is, to get them out. And he didn't get them out.
And Charlie's getting a mock cheer by going out to get Bastardo now. He'll bring in Justin DeFreitas to face the right-handed hitting Todd Frazier. Bastardo's asking Carlos Ruiz where that pitch was that Votto hit.
It was right down the middle.
It was in a spot where Votto could drive it. This is an AT&T call to the bullpen. Here at Citizens Bank Park, the Phillies and the Reds tied up at 3. Game up with a home run by Joey Votto against Antonio Bastardo. It's a 3-3 game here at the top of the 8th. The The Reds will be here tomorrow and Sunday. Sunday's a 1:35 first pitch. The Wistar Institute Melanoma Awareness Day, presented by Blue Cross and Citizens Bank. A free floppy hat. The floppy hat right there to fans 14 and under. Make your plans and order your tickets at Phillies.com. So Justin DeFreitas into his third ball game.
He's pitched 2/3 of an inning, and he's gotten 2 tough right-handed hitters out.
Yeah, his responsibility since being called up for the minor leagues has been pretty hefty. He's got Todd Frazier, who is 0 for 3.
Another right-handed hitter on deck, and Mesoraco. Carl Graber does such a great job for us on stats. As we mentioned, in the 23-22 game, Ray Burris was the only Cubs pitcher not to give up a run in that game. It turns out Raleigh Eastwick of the Phils in South Jersey did not give up a run in his 2 innings.
2 innings?
2 innings.
He was the king of the game. Frazier lines one to right field. Delman Young reaches out, makes the catch. And his throw back to first, not in time. Well, Frazier hit it on the nose. Delman Young was able to recover to put it away.
Well, he plays deep, and it really helped on that one because he's out there, and he did not get turned around the wrong way. He had a right-handed hitter hitting, so he knows it's going to slice away from him. So he got his body in perfect position and then goes up and catches it.
Devin Mesoraco is now up with a runner at first. Phillies have Jeremy Horst starting to warm up in the bullpen. Inside, 1-0.
Sean Marshall, not available last time we saw the Reds, and he's tough. So Rich Hill the other day with Cleveland, those two guys used to both be with the Cubs, and they'd run them in and out of starting roles and reliever roles.
Little check. Nope, says the first base umpire, Scott Barry. 2-0 the count to Mesoraco. If DeFreitas loses Mesoraco, Robinson's on deck. Now he's a switch hitter. It depends on which side they'd like him to bat from, whether Horst comes in or if they go to the bullpen.
Right.
There's Horst.
And they have 2 left-handed hitters on the bench and a switch hitter in Cesar Torres. And their other catcher, Ryan Hannigan. He's a right-handed hitter.
Popped him up. Shallow center. Rollins is out there. And this should do it for the 8th. It does. So DeFreitas gets the 2 batters he gets a chance to face. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Reds have tied it up thanks to a home run by Joey Votto. Subway in-game box score. There's no winning part of this box score just yet. See what the Reds have done. They have 2 home runs tonight, one by Joey Votto, the other one by Jay Bruce. Meanwhile, from a Phillies standpoint, they also have a home run tonight. There was a 2-run shot by Jimmy Rollins and an RBI by Michael Young. Cliff Lee, a double, 2-run scored. And now we'll see what the Phillies can do against Sean Marshall. As we go to the bottom of the 8th, it'll be Chase Utley, Michael Young, and Ryan Howard against the veteran Marshall, as Will's mentioned before, starting pitcher to begin his career, but now he's turned himself into a very good relief pitcher.
Yeah, 182 left-handed hitters against him, 2 for 11, but only 3 strikeouts. He has 5 strikeouts overall, so he put the ball in play a little bit against him.
Well, Chase Utley 5 for 15 against him. Pretty good numbers, lefty on lefty. The Phillies have not been a very good offensive team against left-handers this year. Utley tonight 0 for 3. Takes a strike, 0-1.
Move their defense around with a shortstop Cosart almost behind second base. The third baseman Frazier way off the line. Not the overshift that Cleveland was playing when they had 3 on the right side. Of course, you have a left-hander out there too.
Swing and a miss, and Utley is struck out for the 2nd time tonight. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th, and Michael Young will be the hitter.
There's a familiar figure right there that the Phillies have had some luck with over the years.
Jonathan Broxton, who they did not see last time the Phillies faced the Reds.
Well, Michael Young did his last time up, got a fastball, hit it to deep left center field. Chu got a little bit wall shy there at the end, it looked like. You know, not everybody wants to go slamming into walls. And you could see him pull up short, and the ball was on the track.
When it left the bat, I thought it had a chance to hook out over the State Farm sign. But he hit it so hard, it didn't really hook that much. A little bit.
Tie game at home right now, so you can get your closer up. Papelbon to pitch the 9th inning in a tie game and hope, you know, if you don't get something here, you win it in the bottom of the 9th.
One ball, 1 strike to Michael Young.
On the road, you normally don't do that, and they aren't. They aren't getting Chapman up.
Dusty Baker's team commit to this ball game. It's 2nd place in the Central, a game and a half behind the Cardinals.
They've been playing great at the Reds, but the Cardinals are better right now. They've been really hot.
Foul ball. The Reds have won 6 straight. The Cardinals have won 7 of 10.
Yeah, they finally lost yesterday, and they're winning tonight again. They are off to the best start at this point in the season in their history, which is some history.
Oh, he had it. And now he has it. 3-2 now to Young. Ryan Howard waits on deck. Howard has 5 hits against Marshall. And a little spinner foul.
From a 3-2 breaking ball. Just got a piece of it. Another one. Curveballs. The guy's still trying. He couldn't get to that one.
Somebody give that man a baseball.
Too many kids down there. Ball girls are going to give to those young little kids.
Yeah, he's too much of a senior citizen.
Yeah, you got to catch it on your own.
Yep.
You're not getting the rebound.
Outside ball 4. Young works out a pretty good at bat. He's been on base all 4 times tonight. You're talking about the Phillies not being able to walk. Well, he's walked 3 times.
Fouled off 2 curveballs and then took a 3-2 slider.
All right, well, Ryan Howard, who is 2 for his last 29. Whatever he's been due, it's today. 5 for 18 against Marshall. No home runs. The only home run Marshall's given up to the Phillies was to Rollins.
We go fastball in.
Ooh, a check swing, slow roller up the third base line. Marshall has it, then bobbles it, and Howard's safe at first. They'll score at a base hit. As everybody knows, he doesn't want to hit the ball up the third base line. He inadvertently did it there, and the Phillies have 2 on with 1 out.
He made the pitch he wanted to make. I'm going to laugh about it a little bit, like he bunted it. He made the pitch he wanted to make on him and threw it in. And it's a check swing. Watch. Right there, a little check swing. And Marshall has him if he can throw it.
He does, yeah.
That's why I thought they may have scored an error. But it's a nice little swinging bunt hit. A little check swing action. That's going to make it. Dusty Baker come out and bring Broxton in.
So it'll be a double switch for the Reds. They'll bring in Jonathan Broxton and make one more other change. Looks like it's going to be Ryan Hannigan who's going to come into the ballgame to catch for Cincinnati. So the Phillies have 2 on, including the go-ahead run in scoring position with Jonathan Broxton coming into the ballgame. 1 man down here at the bottom of the 8th. The Phillies have 2 on, though, with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Reds will go to their bullpen for Jonathan Broxton, who's not had the greatest of memories here at Citizens Bank Park. Of course, as a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers in the postseason. Broxton 1-1 with a 4.41 ERA.
The bad one at Dodger Stadium.
Bad one at Dodger Stadium, too. 18 career games against the Phillies. He's 4-1 with a save, but his earned run average is 6.
Matt Stairs got him. I think we may be seeing that right now.
Here we go.
This is a long one.
The legend that was Matt Stairs.
Wow, that went a long way. You know how far back those seats are at Dodger Stadium where that thing went. That was a monster homer.
Well, here's Delman Young with 2 runners on. Oh, it hit him. And the bases are loaded. It also got Hannigan. Don't forget, he comes in as the second catcher.
Here's another great memory for the Phillies. Jimmy Rollins headed right for the Grand Slam area out there. That was unbelievable. When they pulled that playoff game out, it really looked like they were in trouble that night and maybe headed back to Los Angeles.
Carlos Ruiz looked like he was jumping in the pool, but he slid it to home plate.
That was so. And then they went out the next night and just pummeled the Dodgers. They beat Padilla the next night, hit him all over the place.
Ben Revere is going to come on to pinch run at first base for Delman Young. Bases loaded, 1 out. Dominic Brown is the batter. Dominic is 1 for 2 against Broxton.
I think, why would you run Ben Revere here? Well, the main reason is for him to get on that second baseman or shortstop. It's not that his run means so much out there. It's if the ground ball's hit in the infield, he's fast. Maybe you can get down there, disrupt that at second base, and that run can score and give you the lead.
Yeah, he needs to get a little bigger lead, too. I mean, because Votto's off the line. He could cheat a little bit more. Now Votto comes back a little bit.
Juan Samuel will help him with that.
Ground ball foul, 1-1.
Situation baseball comes into play right now. If you just get a fly ball so big, try and get a lead here and use your closer, who's been very hot. Games you got to win at home.
When given the opportunity.
Yep. Especially a team like this that has a really good bullpen late.
Now it's 1-2 to Brown.
Broxton got that one up to 96. Says he's 93 to 97, which means he's getting his arm strength back.
Toyota Major League Scoreboard. Justin Upton is just at a grand slam. Braves lead the Dodgers 6-4. The game's in the bottom of the 6th down in Atlanta.
He's getting hot again. He cooled off big time, and now here he comes again. That's the way their Braves are going to be probably too with the hitters they have.
1-2 the count to Dominic Brown, and the pitch. Ground ball back toward the middle. Cozart has it, flips to second for 1, safe at second, a run scores, and the Phillies take the lead. Just put it in play, boys.
Yeah, and that's where that speed came into play too that we're just talking about with Revere, because they're trying to hurry everything. Brown can run a little bit, and they know they got a guy coming down there that's really coming in a hurry. Cozart tried to give it to Phillips, and Phillips tried to make one of those athletic plays of his and couldn't. Watch, the ball's right over the bag, over the mound, over the bag. Cozart flips it. He's trying to make one of those unbelievable plays that he can make, and he reaches behind him a little bit, and he can't get it. And here's Revere to disrupt the whole thing anyway, and that's why they pinch Randy. He didn't quite get it out either, did Cozart. See, when you watch that again, it wasn't a real clean exchange on his part. That threw the timing off just a split second.
So now Carlos Ruiz the batter, and Carlos takes outside.
It doesn't matter with Broxton here. Just something goes crazy for him. hit batter and that thing.
Fielder's choice, RBI, E4. I guess they figured that if he caught it with his glove, he would have had him at second base. Want to know the count to Ruiz? Carlos pops it up. Votto has room. No, he doesn't. Thought he might be able to get to the rail and then find it, but he didn't get to the rail in time. So new life for Carlos. It's 1-1.
Carlos got a huge hit off Broxton here one night. Hit that ball at a gap in left center field. He probably really wouldn't want to come here and pitch. He doesn't have a lot of good memories for him.
Maybe you would think he would turn it around if he came here.
No. Look how close he came to catching that ball just in the one over the mound. He jumped for it and just missed it. And it was right over the bag. Good job, as you said, by Dominic Brown to put the ball in play with 2 strikes. Make something happen.
Carlos hits it in the air to center field. That should be deep enough to score Howard. Maybe not. Chu coming in, makes the catch. Howard heading home. Here's the throw to the plate on one hop. He is safe. Howard got his hand in.
Boy, Hannigan did some job with a plate block there. He goes in head first. And as you said, they're going to say he got his hand in. If he goes in feet first, he'd kick his leg out of there probably. Dusty Baker not happy. When his player puts up a beef like that, you got to come out. See what we see here. And Chu comes in, made a strong throw. He's not deep. Got behind it. Can't tell there. There we go. Look at that plate block.
Oh, man. How did Ryan Howard not hurt his hands?
That's why you don't go in head first.
Oh, wow. Unless he pushed that foot back toward the plate before the tag took place.
So right there, he's going to go in head first. If he goes in feet first, he kicks his leg out of there probably. And then there's no question. But bottom line is he scores the run. They get the call. Good job by Ryan Howard. Good hustle and a good gamble by Ryan Sandberg there with 1 out. And you already have the lead. Chu did his job. Good baseball
game.
Play. Yeah, just a good baseball play.
John Mayberry, the batter. And Broxton stepped back and he nearly caught his spike.
Here's another look. Look at this. Shin guard and foot out there.
I can't. Well, you know what? I don't know if he ever tagged him until he pushed his leg back and had his hand on the plate.
It's really hard to see. Marty Foster was adamant, though. He calls him safe right away. There's no doubt in his mind what he saw.
Now, when the ball left the bat, Chu took a couple steps back, but he was trying to get a nice running lead or running start.
Good throw, too. A 1 hop. And it was a long hop, too. It gave Hannigan a chance to get that leg down and really get set.
Mayberry sends one in the air to left field. Robinson is out there. He just missed it, and he makes the catch. And the side is retired. But the Phillies get 2 runs. One on a ground ball, and the other one with some aggressive base running by Ryan Howard. Did he get in? Marty Foster says yes. And the Phillies tack on an extra run for Jonathan Papelbon here in the 8th. postgame show. Go beyond the box score for the lowdown on this game. And live clubhouse reports from Marty Bystrom, who's in the house. That's next on the Phillies postgame show live from Sugar House Casino. Ryan Howard has his index finger all taped up. In between innings, he took a couple extra minutes to check it out. He's looking down at the finger. He did a head-first slide, and he slid right into the spike of Ryan Hannigan. Now, the way it's taped up right there, it looks like it's just taped up because he cut it.
Right.
Because if there was something else wrong with it, if he felt like there was any swelling, they would have buddy taped it. The index finger and the middle finger. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And thankfully that it appears to be, as you say, Tom, a cut, because that could have really been serious. You go in head first, as hard as he went in.
With big man.
Yeah, and that foot down and that shin guard waiting for. It was a long hop. So Hannigan had time to get everything set, and really catchers love that, what he was able to do.
So Xavier Paul will lead it off as a pinch hitter for the Reds as we go to the top of the 9th inning. He has 6 pinch hit RBIs. Paul does. And he's tied with Lance Nix with 2 pinch hit home runs. Takes inside 1-0.
Got a pretty good extra man. He was with the Dodgers for a number of years.
Defensively, Ben Revere stayed in the ballgame to play center field for the Phillies. And John Mayberry moved from center field over to right field. A little high, 2-0. There's John.
Good game here tonight. A lot of stuff in this one. Long balls, little plays, swinging bunts, hit batters.
3-0. Dominic Brown came up with the contact that helped lead to the go-ahead run. And then Ryan Howard tagging from third, scoring the extra run.
Good job by the pinch hitter Paul. They're down by 2. He's just trying to get on base, get that tying run up there.
Ryan Hannigan, who came on as part of the double switch, he's catching now, is on deck. Outside, ball 4. So leadoff walk. One of the things Papelbon has not done during this stretch, and it's been a pretty good stretch for him. He has not walked a lot of guys. He just hasn't had a lot of base runners.
Well, that was just an excellent job by that guy, Xavier Paul, leading off here as a pinch hitter to working for a walk. Scout hitting some double plays now, Hannigan, although Papelbon isn't necessarily a guy who throws a lot of double play balls.
Hannigan 157 overall, 8 for 51. And it's 0-1.
Say the outfielders are deep would be an understatement. There you see it.
Michael Young off the line at third. The infield kind of a double play depth at short and second. And it's 0-2 to Ryan Hannigan. Out toward right field. It's playable for Mayberry. Not that deep. And Paul heads back to first. One out, top of the ninth. And now the top of the order is coming up. Got some dangerous hitters still looming. Chu being the next one.
And you don't want to get to Votto.
Joey Votto's up after Zach Cozart. Chu is 0 for 3.
He'll be looking to pull here and tie it up too. You think they'll stay away from him.
In the dirt, gets away from Ruiz, and it'll kick back to the screen. Carlos didn't see it right away. Paul's not going to go any farther than second at a wild pitch. So the double play is out of order. As Wheel said, he doesn't induce a lot of double plays. And we have one against the Diamondbacks the other day.
Threw an off-speed pitch there, and it bounced up. And Carlos not able to control it nor find it.
Some of the fans behind home plate were pointing to let Carlos know where it was going.
And there's no way that Paul was going to try and go to third down by 2 runs, and unless there was no chance that he could be thrown out. It was nice of the fans to help.
It was funny just watching the point.
Because you know the Reds dugout would yell in the other direction. This team doesn't have many easy wins.
Michael Young. Foul territory, backpedaling a long ways, 2 outs. Even though he was backpedaling, it looked like he had that under control the whole time. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire the opposition 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long.
Here's your game right now. You got to get after Cozart here and not deal with Votto. Cozart coming in this game hitting .208.
Cozart's 1 for 4. He had a single back in the 5th. A little bloop out to right. Cozart does have a hit against Papelbon, and that hit is a home run. It's 1 for 2.
So you do just what he did there. You go away from him hard. You make him beat you the other way.
Paul leads off second. Tying run is at the plate. 5-3 Phillies, top of the ninth. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's doing that. He's throwing the fastballs away, but they're missing by a lot, and he's not chasing. That's the guy you want to see dragging the bat back to the dugout while the Phillies are shaking hands. Really a no decision tonight.
Popped him up. This should do it. Right side. Chase Utley says he's got it. He's under it. Makes the catch, and the Phillies have defeated the Reds 5-3 to take game one. It was a tough one, but it was a gratifying victory for the Phillies, and they scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. And then Jonathan Papelbon converted his 8th save of the season. Dominic Brown, Ryan Howard, they played a hand in the last 2 runs the Phillies scored in their half of the 8th inning. And the eyes of Jonathan Papelbon, he has been very good for the Phillies. His scoreless streak is now up to 16 2/3 innings. Michael Young, our Chevrolet player of the game, 1 for 1, but he did walk 3 times and scored the winning run for the Phillies. He also drove in a run for the Phillies.
Here come our WB Mason deliveries of the game. Sometimes it's the little things. Bases loaded up the middle. They're trying to turn a quick double play, and they don't get anybody as Ben Revere, just as soon as a pinch runner comes in, they take the lead. And now here's a fly ball to center field. It's shallow. Chu comes in, gets behind it, makes a nice long one-hop throw, gives the catcher Hannigan plenty of time, and Ryan Howard comes in head first and gets the plate. According to the home plate umpire Marty Foster, that added the 2nd run in that inning. And those are WB Mason deliveries of the game. Earlier in the game, the Phillies took a lead on a home run by Jimmy Rollins, the left field. He's down there with Murph. Murph?
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, you got it all started with that 2-run home run in the 3rd. And, you know, this team in Cincinnati took it to you guys. I imagine it felt pretty good to win in this kind of fashion here at home tonight.
That was so long ago. You know, it really has no factor into the way we come out play. We know we need to win. And that was a situation I felt good my first at bat. And, you know, I was upset I just missed a double down the line, and he got me to pop out. And so I wanted to make sure that I didn't, you know, leave anything out there. You know, Cliff, you know, was supposed to get the guy over. The guy was down his neck. I told him to swing, and it worked out the same way. It worked out for 2 runs, so it worked out.
You know, it's funny. I know you weren't part of the 8th inning actively, but when you watch what unfolds in the 8th inning, you know, sometimes this is a strange game, and it's just the little things that you need to go your way to have a beginning like you were in the 8th.
Sometimes I think it's a strange game just about every night. You never know what's going to happen. But, you know, what a big at bat by Ryan, you know, dropping that sac bunt that turned into a hit. And hopefully that gets him going. But, you know, D. Brown did a good job. Mike had a real good at bat getting on base and putting the ball in play. The only way they were going to maybe even come close to turning double play is for Brandon to do what he tried to do, but it worked out in our favor. Chooch, sac fly, speed kills, and Ryan has a lot of it. Got that finger in there, and the good guys ended up with the right score.
It was the finger. Hey, I don't know if you know this, but with your 2-run home run, that was your 1,200th run scored, and you have over 400 stolen bases. Just the 4th shortstop in history to reach numbers like that. I know I'm throwing it on you right now, but put that in some kind of perspective.
I don't know, man. I really have no idea. It's awesome, but I have so much more time to go that hopefully those numbers will keep going up. And then when it's all said and done, you ask me that question, I can have an answer for you.
I will do that. All right, Jimmy, thanks for your time. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. Jimmy Rollins had himself a pretty good night. So did the Phillies. They win it 5-3. They take game 1 over the Cincinnati Reds. They've won 2 of 3 on this homestand. It's a good start. We'll be back right after this.